Hey all, I'm just sitting out here in the garden in the evening. I just want to talk about what brings everybody out in the garden. There's so many different reasons. It could be the money side. Maybe you want to save a little bit money, so you buy a package of seeds for 50 to 100 seeds for a couple bucks, or you buy some small plants from the nurseries for a couple bucks too. Because either way, whether you use seeds or whether you buy the plants from the nursery, the plants will give back more than you put in. That's what I love about them. Tomatoes can grab, 50 to 100 tomatoes on a plant. The zucchini, you'll grow so much zucchini, you'll be chucking them at your neighbors. So yes, the plants will give back more than you probably put into it, so you will save money that way. Another reason could be that you're just sort of wanting to know what you eat. A lot of stuff in the stores are picked when they're not ripe so that they can ship long distances. But out here in the garden, I can pick a tomato that's either ripe, unripe, maybe in the middle. Kind of depends on what I want to do. So I have the option to pick it when I want to, instead of having somebody else pick the tomato when they feel it's right. And the biggest reason I come out into the garden is for the peace. I'll come out here and just sort of listen to a podcast while maybe I'm watering the plants, maybe I'm feeding the plants. Maybe I'll just come out here and just watch the insects and wildlife out here. I'll come out, watch the squirrels, the ladybugs, the bees, kind of just do their thing. They just sort of go plant to plant. Or the squirrel, I'll see him up here. He'll be probably grabbing a fruit from my tree, which I'm okay with. I love the squirrels. Maybe not everybody in my family, but you know what? They work hard. They can live off my labor a little bit. So yeah, so sometimes I just like to be able to be in peace, to be able to come out here and just sort of listen to the wildlife. If I'm not listening to a podcast, be able to just sort of tend to my plants. Who, by the way, know what they're doing. We're just sort of assisting them and making them bigger than they probably would be out in the wild. Because out in the wild, we're not there growing them. They're growing themselves on their own. So it's just sort of a kind of a union or a partnership that we're doing with the plants to help them reach their full potential. So I'm gonna, decided to come out here and just show you my garden and kind of show you the areas that I love, just be able to hang out and watch things grow. Whether it's my cucumbers, slowly growing up the trellis, knowing that they're ready to go, or the tomatoes that are already starting to pop, and I'm seeing baby tomatoes, or the zucchini and the huge flowers that are about to just bloom. And I love when I see the flowers, popping out, because I know fruit's on its way. So there's just a lot of things that I love about my garden, and so let's go check it out. This is my tomato patch. I've got indeterminates and determinates. Got my determinates up front, so that way they get enough of the sunlight that aren't blocked by the indeterminates. And yes, I do have cucumbers, and yes, I do know that people recommend them not going together, but they've always gone really well, and they're way out in the back. So I think, in my opinion, that they're not competing as much, but they always do really well in this bed. And this is I decided this year to just make this my potato bed, and I got little beans on the side there. Kind of adds a little bit more nitrogen that they produce themselves, but kind of want to make this because it doesn't have the greatest sun, and I've grown potatoes in the sun and maybe partial shade, and they've always done well. And so I'm going to decide to make this whole thing just my potato little bed every year. And of course, these are my pride and joy, because my family just loves squash, whether it's yellow squash or zucchini, any kind of squashes, and they just grow like wildflowers. I've had so much squash coming off of these. I'm just so thankful that my family loves to eat them, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I try to find out different recipes that I can make, whether it's zucchini bread, or I'll grill them on the grill, maybe roast them, maybe make some other kind of dish. And this is my berry garden, and I think about after 10 years, I finally found a solution to keep them alive and thriving. I've always had some kind of issues with berries, except for blackberries that grow abundantly over here. But all the other berries, I've struggled a little bit, but every year I try to get a little bit better, and they seem to be doing really well. So let's hope they keep going on, and yeah.